Quips, Whims and Quotes, a curated selection on God, truth, and living the good life. Each blade of grass, each little bug, ant, and golden bee knows its way amazingly. Being without reason, they witness to the divine mystery. They ceaselessly enact it. Look at the horse, that great animal that stands so close to man, or the ox that nourishes him and works for him, so downcast and pensive. Look at their faces, what meekness, what affection for man, who often beats them mercilessly. What mildness, what trustfulness, and what beauty are in that face. It is even touching to know that there is no sin upon them, for everything is perfect. Everything except man is sinless, and Christ is with them even before us. How could it be otherwise? For the word is for all creation and all creatures. Every little leaf is striving towards the word, sings to the glory of God, weeps to Christ, unbeknownst to itself, doing so through the mystery of its sinless life. Gentlemen, look at the divine gifts around us, the clear sky, the fresh air, the tender grass, the birds. Nature is beautiful and sinless, and we alone, are godless and foolish, and do not understand that life is paradise, for we need only wish to understand. And it will come at once in all its beauty, and we shall embrace each other and weep. Paradise is hidden in each one of us. It is concealed within me too, right now. And if, I wish, it will come for me in reality, tomorrow even, and for the rest of my life. From the Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky, The Prophet on Love. When love beckons to you, follow him, though his ways are hard and steep. And when his wings enfold you, yield to him, though the sword hidden among his pinions may wound you. And when he speaks to you, believe in him, though his voice may shatter your dreams as the north wind lays waste the garden. For even as love crowns you, so shall he crucify you. Even as he is for your growth, so is he for your pruning. Even as he ascends to your height and caresses your tenderest branches that quiver in the sun, so shall he descend to your roots and shake them in their clinging to the earth. But if in your fear you would seek only love's peace and love's pleasure, then it is better for you that you cover your nakedness and pass out of love's threshing floor into the seasonless world where you shall laugh. But not all of your laughter, and weep, but not all of your tears. Love gives naught but itself, and takes naught but from itself. Love possesses not, nor would it be possessed, for love is sufficient unto love. And think not you can direct the course of love. If it finds you worthy, directs your course. Love has no other desire but to fulfill itself. But if you love, and must needs have desires, let these be your desires, to melt and be like a running brook that sings its melody to the night, to know the pain of too much tenderness, to be wounded by your own understanding of love, and to bleed willingly and joyfully. From The Prophet by Khalil Gibran, Tolstoy's Anna Karenina. Deliberation had brought him to doubt and prevented him from seeing what he ought to do and what he ought not. When he did not think, but simply lived, he was continually aware of the presence of an infallible judge in his soul, determining which of two possible courses of action was the better and which was the worse. And as soon as he did not act rightly, he was at once aware of it. I and all men have only one firm, incontestable, clear knowledge, and that knowledge cannot be explained by reason. It is outside it. I looked for an answer to my question, and thought could not give an answer to my question. It is incommensurable with my question. The answer has been given me by life itself, in my knowledge of what is right and what is wrong, and that knowledge I did not arrive at in any way. It was given to me, as to all men given, because I could not have got it from anywhere. But where could I have for it? By reason could I have arrived at knowing that I must love my neighbor and not oppress him. Reason discovered the struggle for existence and the law that requires us to oppress all who hinder the satisfaction of our desires. That is the deduction of reason. But loving one's neighbor, reason could never discover, because it's unreasonable. Levin from Tolstoy's Anna Karenina. The Superman. I teach you the Overman. Mankind is something to be overcome. What have you done to overcome mankind? In truth, Man is a polluted river. One must be a sea to receive a polluted river without becoming defiled. I teach you the overman. He is that sea. In him your great contempt can go under. And thus spoke Zarathustra to the people. It is time for man to fix his goal. It is time for man to plant the seed of his highest hope. His soil is still rich enough for it, but that soil will one day be poor and exhausted, and no lofty tree will any longer be able to grow there. Alas, there comes the time when man will no longer launch the arrow of his longing beyond man, and the string of his bow will have unlearned to whiz. I tell you, one must still have chaos in oneself to give birth to a dancing star. I tell you, you have still chaos in yourselves. Alas, there comes the time when man will no longer give birth to any star. Alas, there comes the time of the most despicable man, who can no longer despise himself. From Thus Spoke Zarathustra, by Friedrich Nietzsche. Power is of two kinds. One is obtained by the fear of punishment, and the other by acts of love. Power based on love is 1,000 times more effective and permanent than the one derived from fear of punishment. Mahatma Gandhi. To love someone means to see him as God intended him. Fyodor Dostoevsky. God has entrusted me with myself. Epictetus. We need to find God, and he cannot be found in noise and restlessness. God is the friend of silence. See how nature, trees, flowers, grass, grows in silence. See the stars, the moon and the sun, how they move in silence. We need silence to be able to touch souls. Mother Teresa. Heaven means to be one with God. Confucius. Do not let your hearts be troubled. Trust in God. Trust also in me. Jesus. He who would learn to fly one day must first learn to stand and walk and run and climb and dance. One cannot fly into flying. Nietzsche. The doer alone learneth. Nietzsche. The most valuable of all education is the ability to make yourself do the thing you have to do when it has to be done, whether you like it or not. Aldous Huxley. Don't let your happiness depend on something you may lose. C.S. Lewis. The Christian does not think God will love us because we are good, but that God will make us good because he loves us. C.S. Lewis. Aim at heaven, and you will get earth thrown in. Aim at earth, and you get neither. C.S. Lewis. Keep your eyes fixed on Jehovah. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. Plato. Ignorance, the root and stem of all evil. Plato. Pray as though everything depended on God. Work as though everything depended on you. Saint Augustine. Do you wish to rise? Begin by descending. You plan a tower that will pierce the clouds. Lay first the foundation of humility. Saint Augustine. Patience is the companion of wisdom. Saint Augustine. Pride makes us artificial, and humility makes us real. Thomas Merton. I hear, and I forget. I see, and I remember. I do, and I understand. Confucius. Humility and knowledge in poor clothes excel pride and ignorance in costly attire. William Penn. True silence is the rest of the mind, and is to the spirit what sleep is to the body, nourishment and refreshment. William Penn. Sense shines with a double luster when it is set in humility. An able yet humble man is a jewel worth a kingdom. William Penn. Between a man and his wife, nothing ought to rule but love. Authority is for children and servants, yet not without sweetness. William Penn. To be a man's own fool is bad enough, but the vain man is everybody's. William Penn. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Mahatma Gandhi. At his best, man is the noblest of all animals. Separated from law and justice, he is the worst. Aristotle. Life without love is like a tree without blossoms or fruit. Khalil Gibran. Forget not that the earth delights to feel your bare feet and the winds long to play with your hair. Khalil Gibran. The best thing one can do when it's raining is to let it rain. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ. St. Paul. If you rely more upon your own reason or industry than upon the virtue that subjects to Jesus Christ, you will seldom and hardly become an enlightened man, for God wishes us to be perfectly subject to himself and to transcend all reason by inflamed love. Thomas à Kempis. Miracles are a retelling in small letters of the very same story which is written across the whole world in letters too large for some of us to see. C.S. Lewis. What you see and what you hear depends a great deal on where you are standing. It also depends on what sort of person you are. C.S. Lewis. To have faith in Christ means, of course, trying to do all that he says. There would be no sense in saying you trusted a person if you would not take his advice. Thus, if you have really handed yourself over to him, it must follow that you are trying to obey him, but trying in a new way, a less worried way. Not doing these things in order to be saved, but because he has begun to save you already. Not hoping to get to heaven as a reward for your actions, but inevitably wanting to act in a certain way because a first faint gleam of heaven is already inside you. C.S. Lewis. Give me all of you. I don't want so much of your time, so much of your talents and money, and so much of your work. I want you, all of you. I have not come to torment or frustrate the natural man or woman, but to kill it. No half measures will do. I don't want to only prune a branch here and a branch there. Rather, I want the whole tree out. Hand it over to me, the whole outfit, all of your desires, all of your wants and wishes and dreams. Turn them all over to me. Give yourself to me, and I will make of you a new self in my image. Give me yourself, and in exchange I will give you myself. My will shall become your will. My heart shall become your heart. C.S. Lewis. Nothing you have not given away will ever really be yours. C.S. Lewis. Relying on God has to begin all over again every day, as if nothing had yet been done. C.S. Lewis. The smallest act of kindness is worth more than the greatest intention. Khalil Gibran. In the depth of my soul there is a wordless song. Khalil Gibran. Happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. Mahatma Gandhi. Strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will. Gandhi. Prayer is the key of the morning and the bolt of the evening. Gandhi. Always aim at complete harmony of thought and word and deed. Always aim at purifying your thoughts and everything will be well. Gandhi. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. Mahatma Gandhi. We don't see things as they are, we see them as we are. Anais Nin. You cannot do kindness too soon, for you never know how soon it will be too late. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Cast all your anxieties on him, because he cares for you. One Stone Peter. Nature is God's living, visible garment. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. Albert Einstein. We need to find God, and he cannot be found in noise and restlessness. God is the friend of silence. See how nature, trees, flowers, grass, grows in silence. See the stars, the moon and the sun, how they move in silence. We need silence to be able to touch souls. Mother Teresa. The best remedy for those who are afraid, lonely or unhappy is to go outside, somewhere where they can be quiet, alone with the heavens, nature and God, because only then does one feel that all is as it should be. Anne Frank. I cannot think that we are useless or God would not have created us. There is one God looking down on us all. We are all the children of one God. The sun, the darkness, the winds are all listening to what we have to say. Geronimo. There's only one effectively redemptive sacrifice, the sacrifice of self-will to make room for the knowledge of God. Aldous Huxley. Nothing that is God's is obtainable by money. Tertullian. God is not a cosmic bellboy for whom we can press a button to get things. Harry Emerson Fosdick. Your God is ever beside you. Indeed, he is even within you. Alphonsus Liguori. God writes the gospel not in the Bible alone, but also on trees, and in the flowers and clouds and stars. Martin Luther. God creates out of nothing. Wonderful, you say. Yes, to be sure, but he does what is still more wonderful. He makes saints out of sinners. Søren Kierkegaard. Our Lord has written the promise of resurrection, not in books alone, but in every leaf in springtime. Martin Luther. Pray as though everything depended on God. Work as though everything depended on you. St. Augustine. Someday, after mastering the winds, the waves, the tides and gravity, we shall harness for God the energies of love. And then, for a second time in the history of the world, man will have discovered fire. Pierre Teilhard de Chardin. In the name of God, stop a moment, cease your work, look around you. Leo Tolstoy. There is nothing that wastes the body like worry, and one who has any faith in God should be ashamed to worry about anything whatsoever. Mahatma Gandhi. Intense love does not measure, it just gives. Mother Teresa. Each one of them is Jesus in disguise. Mother Teresa. Quips, Whims and Quotes, a curated selection on God, truth, and living the good life.